All right. Hey guys, welcome to El Picachon. I'm Rodrigo. This is my sidekick, Smokey the Smoke Detector. And yeah, we're going to play some Pokemon today. Get back to our poison team. Um, but first, before we do that, news just broke that a team of scientists have um, did a bunch of bone density tests on Spinosaur, Baryonyx, and Suchomimus. Is it Suchomimus? Yeah. Um, to see how dense their bones were, to see if they were like what sort of aquatic behavior they exhibited. Like everybody's pretty convinced that Spinosaurus was pretty much fully aquatic because of its tail paddle that was discovered a few years ago. So now the scientists went in, they looked at a bunch of like hippo bones and alligator bones and stuff, and they're like, what's this bone density like? Um, and they're like, okay, we have a pretty good idea that um, bone density has something to do basically with diving animals, right? It's like hippos, crocodiles, they need dense bones because that helps them with buoyancy. Um, so yeah, I think they've basically figured out that Suchomimus, not so much, but Baryonyx and Spinosaurus were like bottom, kind of like underwater forager types, rather than necessarily like guys that floated at the top or that like waded outside of the water and just caught fish that like swam by or whatever. It looks like Suchomimus lost that bone density. That's the theory, is that they lost the bone density afterwards. Um, yeah, so they only know about Spinosaurus, but yeah, they're like the crocodile features, like the long snout with the teeth, with the pointy teeth, and the bone density seem to have all developed around the same time. So it's pretty interesting. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. So yeah, here's a good illustration. So a kiwi right on top, not very dense bones because it's basically still a bird. Tyrannosaurus, less dense bones. This is probably Suchomimus, penguin, and then like look at how dense the bones of a Spinosaurus are, right? So it's interesting. It's like this came with like no new fossils, right? They're just like, um, oh, the paper it's on. It just got printed on the Nature journal. Um, yep. So it's just at Nature on Twitter is where you can find it. Um, and yeah, the Field Museum led the thing. But yeah, again, I don't think any new fossils were uncovered to learn this. It's just scientists being like, it's like I just thought of this. You know how we can maybe figure out what their like diving behaviors were? We can look at how dense their bones were, and so they like went through all the process by first sort of assigning whether bone density matters to diving modern animals, and then they're like, it seems to. So let's look at let's look at these extinct animals and see what their behavior is. So yeah, if you're interested, go to I guess Matteo Fabri. It's at Teta Neuron on Twitter. I'm sure he's like this is just something that they just came out, so I'm sure they're very interested on it. Otherwise, you can probably go to Add Nature and do a search for like Spinosaurus. Okay, so that's probably good for now for dinosaur news. We'll turn on this should turn the captioner back on. Okay, that's good. And yeah, let's play Pokemon. How's everybody doing? Good? Everybody's doing okay. I was sick last week, so I wasn't able to do this. But I'm doing better now, so it should be okay. All right. Lagna says, "How is Chad? How is Rodrigo? Recovered from last week?" Yep, I actually had full-on COVID. I'm vaccinated and boosted, but um, yeah, I was by Wednesday I was doing okay. I was like, well, I'm doing okay, but I feel that if I sit here and talk for 2 hours and then, because Wednesdays we record Critical Hit too, it's like if I record for 2 hours and then do Critical Hit for like 3 hours, I think I'm gonna be really wiped out, or I really risk like going into a terrible coughing fit. So that's why we didn't end up playing last week. Um, Lagnan says, I'm having a good time zone. Been prepping to run an RPG at home, and that was fun. That's cool. So, yeah, when we last left Petunia, she had basically just been told, hey kid, the adults are gonna handle this. You don't need to worry about this. But I think we're gonna worry about it anyway. Cause like, yeah, we gotta go back through that tunnel. I guess we don't need to save because we literally just started the game. Oh, no message? Alright, well thank you, Life's a Pitch, for subscribing. That's great. Thank you. Really appreciate it. When we last left Petunia, she was having a bit of an attitude. Yep, that's true. I don't know what we're gonna find in there. I don't remember, so I'm just gonna keep the team that I had. What's this? The earth is shaking. Maybe if I try to sway in the same way. Nope, not helping. Pokecop's very useful. Leon! Oh no. Let me through, old lady. Future champion coming through. No message, no distraction, only progress. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, it's Hop. You know what I mean? Where's Leon? That's what I like to know. That noise, it was like some massive explosion. There's this huge surge of red light, and then wild Pokemon just started Dynamaxing around. Oh, around me. Brazen as you like. Take a look at the news. So this is what is like one of the things that's kind of sad about Sword and Shield, right? It's like if this game had had the time and possibly the budget, like we could have seen that, right? It would have been cool to see something where all of a sudden a bunch of random Pokemon just start Dynamaxing and rampaging through town, but instead we just get to hear about it later. Yeah, Dynamaxing around. See, that's Lee. He really is the greatest, right? It's like it would have been cool to have a one-time fight where like Hammerlock is the like you like shrink Hammerlock so that, you know, the Pokemon look like kaiju or whatever. Yeah, lots of things that you could have done, but it doesn't happen. This really makes you appreciate how great he is. Let's go meet up with him, Petunia. He should be at Hammerlock Stadium. Oh, a Thievul. Sometimes there's feathers on bridges, but I don't know if that's after the game. All right, let me save here. Let's go, old man. I want to see your soul rock just polish itself for 10 turns. I don't... Oh, here we go. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what we find. I think we are going to get some plot stuff before we get to go to the Hammerlock gem. Afoof. Simeon. Try MTG player. Although he probably doesn't have anything particularly good to hit it with. Nope. So we'll just hit it with Hypnosis. But he avoids the attack. Fling is a dark type attack. So that was a bad idea. Let's go this way.
Good evening.
Saint JW, thanks for the subscription. I appreciate it. It's nice. You guys are nice. You guys are nice for subscribing. I really like that. Let's sludge bomb him. What? Early start? Yeah, I've been trying to start up a little bit early. You know, the official time is 2:30, but I've been starting up at 2, a little bit after 2. I think a few weeks ago I started up at like 1:45 or something like that. I still try to go till 4, right? 4 or 4:30. So it's just a little bit of extra time. Hopefully you don't hopefully it doesn't feel like you're missing anything, but you know. They're just on summertime already. Oh yeah, that's also actually yep, that's possible too because we are on daylight savings, so that might have thrown off my when I do things compared to when other people do things. It's only 21:12. That's good. I must now play some Rush. Nice. Poltegeist is just a ghost type, I think. Can you poison ghost types? I guess so. Lagna says we switch this weekend, then we'll be back to normal. Okay, I gotcha. Stop it. It's okay. This assurance should knock it pretty hard. I was expecting to get knocked harder. That's okay. Harvester says, "Heyo, Rodrigo and Chad. Happy Wednesday. Let the Wednesday party begin." Yes, everybody's here. It's time to watch me lose regular fights with randos on the route. If you're just getting here, we were talking earlier about like straight up some dinosaur research that's come out recently. So make sure to watch the VOD to see what that was all about. 8,800 for winning. Okay. I'm gonna camp. Make it a camp. Let's cook first, and then we'll. Let's do this fried food. We'll throw in 5 cherry berries. Alright. Yes. Let's see. Lagnus lies down on the couch with Twitch. Quite a party, yep. Harvester says dinos. Oh, dinos, yeah. CJW says, so Rodrigo, as a result of your MTG stream, I bought a Precon Commander deck and reconnected with some friends I haven't seen since pre-COVID. That's cool. I'm glad. I always feel guilty about like getting people into Magic or back into Magic because it can be a real resource sink. But if it gets you hanging out with your friends, that's good. Honestly, aside from my miraculous Kamigawa victories, I don't always have a good time on Arena, and I've realized is because prior to that, I had always played Magic with friends or with people who were becoming my friends, and I really just don't like playing randos. Like I get kind of upset when I just get like steamrolled by someone with like a really good expensive deck. So yeah, I'm gonna try and play more with people that I like hanging out with. Oh, Wobbuffet class, is that better or worse than Milcery class? Your Pokemon's HP was restored by half. No, that's got to be worse, right? Your Pokemon's gained a few XP points, Power Nap, and there's a pretty got friendly towards you. Let's see. Well, now we can blame it all on Rodrigo. Yep. Fun non-fact, you can claim any expenses incurred from pursuing interests sparked by Rodrigo's influence on your annual tax form. No, you can't. Don't do that. If I ever break down and buy MTG stuff after 25 years clean, I'm sure as heck blaming Rodrigo. That's fair. Sakarat says, and WotC has made Arena even worse with the economy fix. I haven't seen what the economy fix is supposed to be. I'd heard people talk about it, but you wanna get. There you go. Yeah, I don't know what the new changes are, but people seem to not like them. I just haven't sat down to like watch the live stream or wherever it was. Yeah, sort of clean shaven. It's growing back. as I told the people, I had COVID. That's why I was out last week, and coughing and sneezing and having a runny nose was like not fun with a gigundous beard and mustache. So I decided to get rid of it all. Life's a Pitch says, my whole workplace just got into Blood Bowl. I know the feeling of the cost of a new hobby like that. Wow, Blood Bowl is hardcore. Is there new Blood Bowl stuff, or are they getting into the old stuff? Um, Horse One Mind says, oh, I'm teetering on the edge of miniatures right now. It's a daunting prospect. Yeah, $50 for 20 wild cards. Set counts. Same amount gets you about 40 packs. Oh, that's not good. Likeness says, played my 4th league game of Blood Bowl yesterday. Been a ton of fun. That's cool. It might be 30 wild cards instead of 20. Okay. Harvester says, damn, sorry to hear, Rodrigo. I'm glad you're doing comparatively better now. And to a smaller degree, it's a shame it's also claimed your beard. It'll grow back. That's something that we don't need to be worried about. Life's a Bitch says, I don't know, there was a new rule book for Blood Bowl a couple years ago. It's just kind of weird that it's had its massive resurgence in my town. The FLGS is kind of baffled. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, I've never actually played Blood Bowl. I've just seen the stuff for it around. Um, I want to say there was that like Monster Bowl stuff, and that's like based on Blood Bowl, I want to say, right? Maybe I'm maybe I'm wrong. Okay, what are we doing now? Sinjadogu says, I was 10 years clean of MTG. Have always been into miniatures. Blood Bowl has some great minis. Yeah. Make your way to Hammerlock. Okay, I made it to Hammerlock. So, probably going to have some plot jump out at me here. I guess I didn't really need to camp. I was worried that I was going to face a bunch of dangerous Pokemans. Horsepoint Man says, I'm trying to DIY as much of my terrain as I can, and even minis to a lesser extent. That's cool. Is the arena fix WotC figuring out that not only can they print something better than money MTG cards, they can print something better than Bitcoin's virtual MTG cards? Sounds like WotC to me. So, yeah. So the issue is that the arena economy is bad because, or was bad, because it was very dependent on wild cards, right? Wild cards were the most valuable things that a player could have, and in fact was kind of a thing where like you got better value out of an unspent wild card than in turning it into a card you have, because then that card is dead. You know, it's like you could use that card and you can play that card, but it's now part of your collection. You can't remove it, you can't sell it, you can't trade it. So actually having just raw wild cards. Hey, thank you for following Rogue Killer Zero. I appreciate it. Come on, hang out. We're playing Pokemon and talking about Magic, Magic the Gathering. So yeah, so it was like better to have. It's like better to have wild cards because they immediately lose their value if you use them, right? But of course, wild cards do nothing. They just sit there. It's just like money. It doesn't do anything. So now I guess they've said like, okay, you can buy X so many wild cards, Thus, now they've put a monetary value on wild cards, but I guess people are dissatisfied with it, which makes sense. Like I said, I haven't sat down to look at what the new fix is and what the specifics of it is. Um, Rogue Killer says, "Hi, would you like to trade for a shiny of your choice?" Not right now. Yeah, we're just playing through right now. Um, let's see. Horsepoint Man says that's why I like Gaslands. It uses a customized Hot Wheels car. Nice. CGW says I'm more into 40k and Age of Sigmar, but any excuse to paint some toy soldiers. To be honest, yeah, I get that. Harvester says DIY terrain is fun. Storing it is challenging. Oh yeah. Lagnus says my gaming club has rules, pitches, and dice and everything, so I just bought a team and painted it. That's nice. That's always nice. That's again the great value of your local hobby store, right? Is that they can actually have stuff like that that then allows people to not have to blow all that money. And the people that are going to, they can still do it, right? They can still do their stuff at home. All right, let's see what these peeps say. Over here. Well, if it isn't Petunia, I'd expect nothing less from you and your Charizard, Leon. You took down that Dynamax Pokemon in no time at all, and we didn't even see it. Well, I am the unbeatable champion after all, but what all is going on here? The overflowing red light Pokemon Dynamaxing without a power spot? Yeah, but why? I'm not sure. What's going on? The red light could suddenly appear again at any time and we'd have no way of knowing. But being able to predict such things is part of a scientist's work, says some mysterious person that we already know. Gran? The chairman called for me. He wanted to know all about the red light's relationship to the Dynamax phenomenon. Did the chairman know anything? Nothing worth my time. The chairman's all wrapped up in fretting over the future of our energy, apparently. He's left everything to that executive lady. We just don't have enough data. That's why I wanted to ask you to start looking into things too, Sonia. You know more than anyone about the darkest day, after all. Are you saying the red light and the darkest day are connected? Hop says, hey, do you reckon there's anything we could do to help out? Let's see. Alexa Pitch says, we work in a board game cafe, so we've got custom pitches printed. That's great. Every Thursday before the evening shift, we go down and use the space to paint and play practice drives. Wow, that's rad. Sakarat says, wow, it's even worse. The actual wildcard bundle is $50 for 12 rares and 4 mythics. Yeah, people are gonna be unhappy about it. All right, let's get back into the plot here. Hey, do you reckon there's anything we could do to help out? I'm gonna guess no. There must be. Thanks, I appreciate the thought. But all I could ever ask of you two would be that you join me in the greatest final match ever. I'll do my part to make that happen by keeping everybody's future safe. So you just keep on doing your part by winning your way through the gym challenge. Right, of course, you're the unbeatable champion after all, eh? You kids do not by any means get involved with the plot. You let the adults handle the plot, okay? Again, this is your fault, the internet, for always being like, oh, look at, like, Pokemon endangers children by sending them against, like, evil villain teams and organized crime syndicates. And it's like, well, see, this is what happens. When we don't, when they don't send children up against that, we are still playing the children. So we don't get to see it. Lagnus says they also have tables and terrain for everything. Over the gaming clubs are usually not store owned. Oh, over here, the gaming clubs are usually not store owned. Store adjacent, but not the same. Working late at night pays extra, so it's expensive to have stores open past uh, 18 hours or so. So this is how it's more commonly done here. Okay. There's something I want to look into. You'll help me, right? Naturally. Okay. Looks like we'll know what we need to do. So you two clear the gym challenge so we can meet again at the Champion Cup. Defeat that Piers once and for all. You're off to Hammerlock Stadium, yeah, Petunia? Rayan's tough nut to crack. Oh, yeah, I guess Hop hasn't beat Piers yet. Okay. I guess I'll get my party ready for that. Ooh, excuse me. Um, Harvester says, LMAO for real. The story has to resist at every turn, giving your character the reins because why wouldn't the adults handle these things until adults fail to contain it enough that it goes, okay, fine, please save us, small child. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like in Galar, like clearly in Galar, they don't know how Pokemon work, and by I don't mean like the creatures Pokemon, I mean the universe of Pokemon. Um, it's like, yeah, if you ever get into trouble, you put out small children in front, and because all that small children do is play with Pokemon, their Pokemon are very powerful. Lagnus says there's a sci-fi bookstore which also has games and such down in Gothenburg that has a nice cafe. When we are when we are down there, we always get tea sandwiches and play a game. And the local pub now has a board game theme every other Saturday after lunch, celebrating the wife's birthday there this weekend. That's cool. I'm gonna say one of these houses has something that maybe I can use. This guy already gave me an item. Oh, this is like the IV person. Okay. Should get some potions, probably. What's this guy have? This guy has all the like carbs and stuff, right? Oh no. It's Pokeballs. I guess I'll get some timer balls too. Yeah, in this run, Pokeballs just aren't that important. It's like an interesting thing when I started putting it together. Like I realized that like catching Pokemon was going to be de-emphasized, and I'm like, I don't know if that makes this a good idea, right? It's like it does actually get you focused on the plot a lot more, and it's like the plot is the worst part of Pokemon. It's like when you're spending tons of time trying to catch Pokemon, like it distracts you from how bad the plot tends to be. 120 to a single Pokemon. How many can I get? Okay, 185 is a lot. Let me get 20 Hyper Potions. And I'll get 5 Max Potions. And we'll get 5 full heals. Harvester says the fact that we haven't had mainline Pokemon games um, where your main character is an adult to some degree is where it snags for me a bit. Children already play RPGs with adult protagonists and have no problems relating or and projecting themselves. Let us be young adult whose career didn't turn out like they wanted, so now they're starting out as a Pokemon trainer in a new field. Uh-oh, this went somewhere. Yep. Lagna says, do you ever more or less make your own story when playing a video game, Rodrigo? It happens to me a lot, and I blame a reckless youth playing too much RPGs. This story is nice, but I'm going to rewrite it just a little. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing, right? It's the point of this run is this character named Petunia who, has no agency, can't really like do anything. But we're making this up this thing that she wants to be a poison type gym leader, right? So I do stuff like this all the time. What I do actually very frequently in games like um, games where you get to make your own character, but also have like big plot lines, is I'll make a character. I'll play the game for a little bit until I figure out like more or less where things are going and what the game wants from the character and from you as a player, and then I will start over and like come up with a backstory and figure out something that's going to jive with what the game wants from me, um, while still allowing me some leeway, um, and it works, and it works pretty well. I've talked about it before, but Skyrim is a game that really allows you to do that because the Dragonborn is a cipher, right? Like no one's seen him before. He doesn't have a background in Skyrim, so you can make whoever you want. Um, my first, like the first character that I played all the way through Skyrim with, because it's like I started Skyrim a couple times and then I was like, okay, I got an idea. So the character that I actually finished the game with was a Nord who, as a kid, uh, got trapped in a barrow, right? So that's those places where the Nords bury their dead that are basically full of zombies, like because the dead just get up and walk around the barrows. Um, and so he got trapped there for a while, and he had to like survive and like live by himself among the zombies. So he was like extremely stealthy and stuff, just to because I'm like, okay, I need to make a character that does X, Y, or Z that fits my playstyle and also makes sense within the world of Skyrim, right? So that's a character that I made. And basically no plot line really changed it, but I was like, okay, well this guy's gonna be a storm, but now that I had the character, I was like, okay, well this guy makes sense as a Stormcloak rather than as helping the Empire, because he's a Nord and because he doesn't have any ties to the Empire, doesn't care. He's probably going to do that quest line instead. And then, none of the dragon stuff really matters. None of it really plays into that background, so it's fine. Horsepine Mind says, I played so much modded Skyrim in high school and college that I had to, like, retrain myself to pay attention to games with actually written stories again. Yep. Skyrim in high school, at least I don't feel old now. There is a wide age spectrum here with people that follow me. I definitely run into people that are significantly older than me, and they'll be like, "Hey, I really enjoyed this thing you said. The first time that I encountered that was back in the 70s," and I'm like, "Dang, that's cool." And then the same thing happens the other way around, right? It's like, "Oh man, like the Void Saga is great. I remember starting to listen to it in middle school, and I'm like, wow, wowie, wow, wow. That makes me feel very old, but that's fine. It's fine. Yep. It's all good. Hey, this is the final gym. Oh, so okay. I should probably think about the the team that I'm taking in here. Um, before actually doing it. So he's a dragon type trainer, but he also has rock types and ground types to set up um, uh, what's it called? The sandstorm, right? Because basically his team is a sandstorm team. So definitely not power nap because it's gonna get squished by rock types. We'll take little veggies. We'll take rude. This will be good, I think. Is there something I'm super forgetting? No. Yeah, let's check their held items. That seems fine. Sakurot says, I graduated high school less than a year before Skyrim released. Yeah, I was already out of college, I want to say, when Skyrim released. So that's how old we all are. Now that it's like, that's nerds for you. It's like, you don't need to tell people your age. You just need to tell them what stage of life you were in when Skyrim came out. And everybody's like, oh, I know how old you are. You're like 5 Skyrims old. Forsooth. All right. Let's try it out. I still think maybe some plot is going to jump at me. Guess not. Some Pokemon aren't affected by weather changes, right? Interesting. That's true. I use Steel-type Pokemon. They can ignore sandstorms completely, but I still can't beat Rayhan. Grass types do tend to be easily influenced by changes in the weather. Yeah, that's okay. They also make very short work of ground types and rock types. Alright, final gym. The long gym challenge is nearing its end, I see. Are you ready to face Hammerlock Gym and its leader, the dragon user Rayhan? You bet! We're ready, right? Let's see. Likeness says, I recently changed my Sentinel hero around, switched the principal, renamed some abilities, bang, new version of the hero after 26 issues. I love how you can make changes like that on the fly without breaking anything, and it's very superhero-y. Brian doesn't really do this, but I kind of want the game to be a lot more meta. Like, we're playing and I want him to come in. I kind of want him to come in and be like, okay, everybody needs to remake their characters because there's a new writing team now. And also, like, two of you need to switch characters. Like, Nexo's a lady now, so you give that to Sam, and now I'm the Traveler or whatever, and we just like remake the characters. So it's like, yeah, because the universe got reset because there's a new writing team. That would probably be that could get annoying, but also I kind of want to just like play around with something like that. Maybe if I ever run a superhero game, that's what I'll do. Harvester says, the Skyrim, a measurement, like the fathom. Yep, exactly right. Alright, guys. That uniform you wear is a symbol of all your victories. I feel your determination. Thanks. Now head to where all the gym trainers await. No, not the stadium, but the vault. Ah, the vault. Horsepoint Mind says you can play a one-shot in the animated show and everyone gets Thomas Perkins redesigns. That'd be cool. Let's see. How many gym challenges are left? Huh, not even 10, eh? What? Oh, challengers. Okay. Alright then. Petunia, time to explain the Great Rayon's gym mission. The rules are simple. All you've got to do is defeat 3 gym trainers that I personally trained in double battles. The gym challenge is meant to be, well, challenging, wouldn't you say? Naturally, there aren't too many gym challengers who can make it this far. And that's why I provide a format where you can really show off the brilliant combinations you and your Pokemon should be capable of. So this is good. I actually really like that the game incorporates double battles in a way that is distinctive and advances the game, right? Because double battles in like most previous games are things that like you'll just meet like 2 trainers on the road that fight together, and you'll have a double battle, and the double battle didn't matter. But this is um, a game like introducing double battles to you as a little baby, and being like, hey, this is something that you can do. This is something fun. And when 2 Pokemon fight together, basically when you have a 2-on-2, you get like all of a sudden your options just explode, right? There you have like so many more options on a 2-on-2 battle. So I'm glad that they do stuff like this. Lagna says we do it somewhat meta, not that extreme, but we have invasion variant of a hero. We have had specials and things like that. Big reveals on the last panel. I love it. Okay, that's great. Yeah. Okay. Ryan says that's probably more than enough for me. Actually, I guess I should ask. Uh, British people or people that live in Britain, is this guy just named Ryan, or is it supposed to be like Rayhan? Because I'm like, you know what I mean. So I'm not really sure how this name's supposed to be pronounced, but I think it is supposed to be a British Isles type name. So you guys let me know. Come on, Sebastian, you'll be first. Oh, let's go, Sebastian. I don't even know what Pokemon I have up front in my party. I'm very bad at this. Yeah, that's me, Sebastian. Leader Rayon has taught me 2 things. First, the dragon types are ferociously powerful. Second, I need to create an advantage on the battlefield to fully utilize that power. Oh, at Rain Team. Hmm. This will be bad for my Zalassel, but... Oh. Wow, Pelipper's a flying type. I don't think I have anything that's going to have like a direct type advantage. So... Um... Let's do this. We'll do a double swap. Saint JW says it looks like an Irish or Welsh spelling, but not seen that name before. Okay. Google is telling me Rayon is a Muslim name originated in India that means sweet basil. Ooh. Oh yeah, okay. So maybe that's it, right? Maybe it's like Raihan or something. And yeah, maybe he's meant to embody the in part like the um, racial and cultural diversity of India. So that makes sense. Oh, or not India, but Great Britain, because it is a very diverse place. Dragon Beam, that's Sliggoo. And then let's Toxic the Pelipper. I'll show you what a real Dragon Pulse is supposed to look like. Oh yeah! Get out of here with that Bush League stuff. Sargassum wants to learn the move Sludge Bomb. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think all it has is acid. So yeah, let's replace acid with sludge bomb. That'll be good. Harvester says that would make sense, yeah, and then his gym being about double battles fits thematically, blending two things for a stronger sum. Sure. Though that's more of a modern and revisionist idea of reality. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, right? That's the issue with Pokemon doing this thing where places are based on real world places, right? So you run into this thing where at the beginning it didn't matter. Kanto is like literally based on Japan. There's a Kanto region in Japan, but that's where the game is from, and that's where the creators of the game are from, right? From Japan, so it looks like Japan, and that's fine. Other places in Pokemon don't have to look like Japan. They can draw inspiration from other places, but this one-to-one idea can cause a lot of problems. And one of the problems that it causes is that when you set something in a particular country, it also dredges up everything in history about that country. And you're like, well, was Galar a, Galar is meant to represent the UK. Was Galar like a horrible colonialist power, a hundred, like 200 years ago or whatever? Um, the answer is probably not. But a lot of the stuff that makes it into,
Hey there, Rodrigo from 5 years ago.
yeah, I shaved. Hey Zemzi, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate it. 8 months. Wow. Have I even been streaming that long? That's amazing. Um, but yeah, so as I was saying, um, right? It's like, what do you eat in this game? Like the big thing when in your camp is you make curry. Curry, curry wouldn't exist in the United Kingdom if not for that colonialist side of things. Um, you have you have like Copper Raja. We've talked about Copper Raja before and how like when I first encountered it, I was like, oh no, I'm getting such like terrible vibes from the fact that this Pokemon name that has the word Raja in his name is in this British setting, right? And I'm like, oh my god, did Galar conquer like and hold and refuse to leave the Pokemon version of India? And by the way, if you're British, like I'm sorry if this is like touchy stuff. I'll let you know. Go find my Ixalan video. I talk about like the horrible colonial aspects of Spain for a long time in that video, right? It's like Europe was kind of on a roll there for a while. So, yeah, it makes it awkward, it makes it weird. It's like it would be actually maybe more fun if all of these places were unique places that maybe had very slight flavors from here or there. Sometimes it doesn't matter, it doesn't even impact the Pokemon, right? It's like Drampa is a new Pokemon for this game, and it's kind of based on a Chinese dragon. Again, Chinese and British have had a lot of issues, but it's just kind of something else, you know? Um, CJW says, no offense taken, it's part of our history that isn't talked about enough. Yeah, you should see some of the comments in some of the Pokemon stuff of people being like, yeah, I hope that there's stuff here about back when Portugal was a world power and was like running around conquering things. And I was like, oh my god, is like, yeah, there's like lots of people that are still like gung ho, yeah, we did the right thing. Like, there's people in Mexico. I have talked to actual legit Mexicans that are like, no, but it's a good thing that Spain came in, destroyed every temple, and built a church on top of it. Because now we have these churches, and they're really cool and really nice. And I'm like, yeah, they are really nice churches, but no, that sucks, man. Come on. So, it's like everybody doesn't agree with this, right? But if you're in this stream, you're gonna have to get used to a real like colonialism is not a good thing, man, kind of vibe. And playing a Pokemon game brings that up accidentally without really trying, And so when you make a piece of media, you have to try and think about this stuff. Otherwise, it just gets carried unchanged into it. um, and causes problems. Zemzi says it sucks, but the games are still for kids. Yep, that's true. And you have to worry about, are the kids just absorbing this stuff without without you breaking it down for them or whatever, right? It's like, I'm not saying you can never put England in anything, right? I'm just saying by making a fiction. Oh, I've been talking for so long, this thing turned off. By putting a fictional version of England, you call up these questions. So yeah, yep. Impact greater than intent. Yep, that's right, Harvestry. Oh, Sludge Bomb. Go Crud Papers. Once again, Crud Papers, probably supposed to be Crud Vapors, as I was, we went through that whole Freakazoid destruction, but I'm just going to leave it as Crud Papers, because it's fine. Oh, this was like halfway out during the turn, because we took that guy out, I guess. Okay, I might heal my Sargassum with this fancy Hyper Potion. And then we'll hit the Pelipper with Assurance. Oh, does he only have 2 Pokemon? I was like, why hasn't the other Pokemon come out? I guess I probably did need to heal this Pokemon if he only has 2. I should have just hold off and attacked. Let's see. Lives of Pitch says, I'm from the UK and please destroy England in the comments. It's a trash zone and bad. Horsebine Mind says, yeah, the Kaparaja thing is going to draw some kind of line in a kid's mind, just like reading The Secret Garden did for me as a kid. Not a condemnation of the game as a whole, just an important thing to point out. Yep. And that's the thing, is like, I think a lot of people, see me or see people talk about this stuff, and it's like, that doesn't mean you can't like Pokemon, right? It doesn't mean you can't like English things. Or British things, or whatever, like, but if you're aware of it, like, it'll help you appreciate it. It'll help you appreciate it in a different way. It'll help you not appreciate the things that perpetuate those problems. But, if anything, like, I personally, I'm a huge, like, I criticize the things that I like a lot more harshly than the things that I don't like. Right? It's like I had to stop myself because I started like tweeting all this like quote unquote negative, like all this very critical stuff about Maya and the 3. I don't know if you guys have seen Maya and the 3. It's like it's by the same guy who did Book of Life. It's on Netflix. You should check it out. It's actually pretty good. So it's based on Mexican and South American folklore. And I just didn't like the way that a lot of things were used. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this. Even though, as a whole, I liked it a lot. I was just very opinionated because these are things that matter to me, right? These are things that are part of my culture, and these are things that I want other people to perceive in certain ways. So I was very critical of it, and if you just read my tweets, it actually kind of looks like I didn't like it. So I had to go back and like do a whole thread about like, here's what's good, here's what I like, and here's the stuff that I don't love. And the other thing is that I forget the creator's name, but he's super on Twitter and he searches his stuff all the time. So he saw all of my tweets, and I was like, oh man, I feel bad because I was like really bashing it there for a while. But he also saw my other thread, so hopefully he sees that. It's just that I just freaking care so much. I don't know what, like, there's if you guys have watched Happy Endings, there's this like one-off character who appears in one episode, and he has this line where he's like, I don't know why I care so much, but I do, okay? It's like, that's how I feel all the time. It's like, I don't know why I care so much about this, but I totally do, okay? So yeah, that's me. Harvester says, great grandparents on my dad's side came here from England, so I can trace the colonialist related catalyst of my existence to a point. Yeah, I mean, me too, right? It's like I'm half Spaniard, half Mexican, or like half native Mexican, so without colonialism, there's no Rodrigo, but that doesn't make it good, right? Zemsi says, I need to watch it still. Harvester hasn't seen it. Yeah, yeah, good times. Yeah, I wish I knew how to make GIFs like my wife does, but she's not nearly as like pop culturally and online mostly as I am. She actually does enjoy a lot of pop culture, but she's not as on Twitter as I am. So every time I'm like, oh, I wish I had this GIF, I think about like asking her to make it for me, but then I don't because she's a busy person who has a day job and stuff. All right. It took us forever to defeat Sebastian, not because it was hard, but because we had to stop and deconstruct the entirety of colonialism in children's gaming. Ah, I can see where you managed to make it this far. Wait, wait. There was only 2 trainers here before. Where'd that third trainer come from? I didn't sign up for this. Oh, Camilla's cute, though. Oh, I have to talk to her. It's just like, whoa, we're really staring each other down. It's like I have to like it's like giving me an opportunity to heal my Pokemon. Which I guess I'll do because man, I am just like really it really sucks that like Weezing doesn't learn any fairy type stuff, at least not at the level where I have it now, I guess. Because like I don't have a fairy type attack which would be super effective against all of these dragon Pokemon. Let's sort this thing. There we go. Hyper Potion. As MC says, I'm part Mexican, part Spanish, part First Drives, and part Caucasian. So my cultural identity is all over the place, and boy, is it hard sometimes. Yeah, it is. It's complicated, especially it's like especially complicated because almost certainly I don't know what your how your family is, but the part of the family that's colonized doesn't have particularly good records, right? So I don't know. Like I'm part native Mexican, but I don't know what I am. The assumption is that I'm some sort of Nahua, but actually my dad is from Chiapas, and that's like a different group. So who knows? Let's see. Yep, quote 4, Giant Skunk says stay in school, kids. There you go. You might have to wait a little bit on the quotes. I think there's like a little bit of a cooldown. Lagnus says, I can admit to not engaging with real life politics online, especially not in English, as that's not my native. That's fair. I don't have the vocabulary for it, and nothing will change. I put my energy more locally, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to fight these fights, right? There's lots of people to fight these fights. Harvester says, I get that, Zemzi. On my mom's side, I have Colombian and Egyptian, so like the two sides are very different. Yeah, but you could probably find some similarities there. I bet you there are some similarities. Lagnus, only thing is in a small Discord where I have been discussing Ukraine as someone who grew up close to Russia during the Cold War. Absolutely. That's fair, and that's an experience that you can bring to this. All right, let's see what Camille. Oh, she's smiling at me. She's nice. But I didn't change the order again. Oh well. Ah, now it's a Sun team. Okay, I'm gonna keep Peppers because she should be able to resist the fire type attacks. But definitely swapping out little veggies. Um, should I go ground or water? I guess Sargassum is gonna resist the Sargassum's gonna resist fire type attacks a lot better. Oh, Shell Trap. It's a Sun and Shell Trap team. Okay. That's what you get for doing a weird one. Zemsi says, I think my mom knows some of it. She went down the rabbit hole and found connections to Kickapoo. But as far as the Mexican, it's a mystery because my mom's side has been in Texas since before Texas. Sure, yeah. I mean, that's something right there. Harvester says the devs really knew when making a dragon type gym in a post fairy type world, they have to have an extra gimmick to pose a threat as the final gym. Yeah, that's actually really a really good observation there. Let's actually I'm gonna use double team because I kind of have a feeling that Tortonator is just gonna keep using that shell trap, and then we'll Veno Shock the Ninetales. Blah, 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 blah. Get out of here. Oh. Alright, well, we'll double team it now. Not actually use the move double team, but we'll each attack it now. And I think it only gets to shell trap one of us. So we'll see. Okay. It's like, I guess these are just like regular gym trainers, but like the last handful of gym fights have actually like yeah, of like gym leader fights have actually been kind of tough. So I'm like thinking about this a lot more, and I'm like probably thinking these fights a lot more than I need to. Worry Seed. I mean, again, oh, nope, never mind, that wouldn't work. I was like, oh man, that would be cool if I could change the ability of that guy that makes the sand to Insomnia, but then I'm like, oh wait, it's like that's on entering, so no, it wouldn't work at all. So I'll just do this. I'll just keep everything I have now. I do like Worry Seed as a move. It's like it's very it's like it's a niche move, but it can actually save you in a lot of ways. Fantastic. I can see those 7 badges you have were well earned. You've made it to the third and last trainer. Your moment to shine, Arya. Oh snap. It's Arya. Is this going to be a snow team? I mean, like, again, this is good, right? If you're like a little kid, you're starting to get into Pokemon, this is your first Pokemon game, like, an introduction to weather teams is like an eye-opening experience, right? It's like, whoa, I can have Pokemon that care about what the weather is. It's like, I have an excuse to have multiple fire types in one team. Horsepoint Mind says, playing around with abilities is always something I wanted to try in Pokemon, like trying to give a Pokemon abilities they shouldn't have, or with skill swap or something. Yeah, absolutely. There's like bad abilities that I'm always looking for ways to give Truant to something else, but it doesn't really work unfortunately because of the specific Pokemon that have Truant. Um, and yeah, stuff like Kofagriga's ability, where it's like the only like the ability's only text is like if something hits you, they get this ability. It's called Mummy. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of fun to like basically watch them spread that around, like watch your opponents spread that around the to their own Pokemon and to like your Pokemon and to the other Pokemon. Yeah, it's weird. Lagna says, I have this story in my head now when the editors have been worried about Tad, the doctor, not being popular with the readers, so he spends like two issues as Dark Tad, wearing a leather jacket, only to change back after two issues without a word about it. Yep, that would be something. I'll pitch it to Steven and see what it says, or see what he says. Oh, this reminds me. Let me look at this. Okay. So I have automated ads now. That's something that Switch is just doing now. So I don't know if any of you have like hit an ad, but I think a lot of the people here are subscribed, so you probably didn't even see the ad at all. That's not what I meant to do. Back to the tab where I was. And then, yeah, the problem is like anytime I mess with the browser, it throws off my web captioner because that's a browser page. Okay. Do I need to do anything here? I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go on a limb and say might be a snow team. So I'm going to put these two up front. I don't know. Horsepoint Mine says, yeah, I've hit a couple of ad breaks. I let it run on my phone and jump on my computer so I don't miss content. Oh, well, that's cool. Do you combine the strength of two Pokemon to push through, or do you have one of them support the other? Let's see what your strategy is. I don't have a strategy, you guys. 99.9% of fights are single Pokemon fights, so I haven't been able to develop a strategy. I knew it. Yeah, oh, Zal says just got 6 ads after saying hi. Oh no. I don't know how long they're supposed to be. Yeah, it might be 6 ads. It might be a 3-minute break. But I don't have a lot of options to change that. Like at this stage, strategy doesn't really matter against the computer now. It doesn't. Lagna says no ads as I'm subscribed. Well, thank you for your subscription, of course, as always. Let's Fighting Dragon. Actually, I'm gonna Poison Jab Hakamo because I should just be able to Incinerate. Oh, Incinerate hits everybody, so let's do that. This should just obliterate that Abomasnow because it's like 4 times weak to fire. Lagna says, I was gifted, which I am thankful for. Things are expensive here in Europe at the moment. Oh, I bet. Uh, in fact, they're so expensive that a lot of that has hit us here in the US as well. Harvestry says, in my second run of this, I had a Togetic on my team, and it wasn't much of a... Hey, Zal, subscribe. Thank you for your subscription. I really appreciate it. 4 months. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Harvester says, in my second run of this, I had a Togetic on my team, and it wasn't much of a fairy type at the time, but it providing reflect and light screen support was a huge help here. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh. Are drenched in an odd poisonous liquid. This lowers the attack, special attack, and speed. Like, that's really good. It's really good, but like the Poison Gas Venoshock combo is also really good. So think I'm gonna pass on Venom Drench, even though reducing attack, special attack, and speed are really good. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, back. Yeah, see, I'm just really overthinking this. Like, these two went down like a sack of potatoes. Cooperation between trainers and their Pokemon just brings out their strength even more. Well done. I am honored to have battled against such a talented trainer. Nice one, Petunia. You've completed my gym mission. Come on, time to head to the gym stadium. You've earned the right to face me yourself. Swish. I guess I should save. Okay. So, definitely gonna want crotch papers up front. And again, I think I'm gonna want little veggies. Even though we went up against like 3 consecutive teams where like Lil Veggies was kind of a liability, this time I think she's going to be a strength. Or he's going to be a strength. All bow before Petunia, that's right. Finally, a challenger made it. I've been waiting for someone to battle. Though I've got to admit, I didn't think it'd be you. That does, I guess, have to suck to be the final gym challenger, or the final challenge in the gym circuit. Because like, yeah, you have to get like a tiny amount of people that make it all the way there. Um, Harvester says, "Little veggies bringing the noise and fiber." Yes, absolutely. Horsepoint Mine says, "I really love Rayhan's look." Yep, don't get me started again on how good the trainers look in this game, but it's like I especially like it. I really like it when trainers are reminiscent of a Pokemon, right? So it's like this is like Rayhan's like being a Garchomp, I guess I want to say. The coloring, the fangs in his hoodie. Yeah, it's good times. But I guess I should have expected no less from a Pokemon trainer that Leon's so promising. And you aim to defeat Leon. Do you have any idea just how high a hurdle that is? As his greatest rival, I guess that I, Rayhan, will have to show you. Gym leader Rayhan doesn't simply control the weather, he also seeks 2-on-2 battles. You must be prepared for any situation against a foe like him. I think it would be rad if there was, if like, I think it would be rad if like there was a Pokemon game where like all gym battles or all gym leader battles were 2-on-2. Like that would be cool. I would be into that. You're challenged by gym leader Rayhan. Gigalith and Flygon. Alright. I should be able to just obliterate that Gigalith. Oh man, that guy's a ground type too. That sucks. Let's Toxic the Flygon. And Grass Pledge? No, Grass Pledge only hits one person. Well, too bad. It's a special attacker. Stealth Rock, of course. Yeah, it's like all of a sudden you're playing against like an actual team. Let's see. Uh, Harvester says true, especially if we had a co-op main story. Yeah, sure. Doing the full gym challenge 2-player could be sweet. Yeah, I'd be into that. Let's go ahead and assurance the Flygon and just grass pledge the Gigalith. I'm not gonna learn Belch. Just forget it. Yeah, it's like Assurance does what it says it does, but it doesn't actually deal that much damage, and I don't have Stab with this Pokemon, so maybe using it is not that helpful. I don't want to swap out Crud Papers because I feel like its little, its like fairy body is actually keeping bad things from happening. Pedal Dance. Let's Pedal Dance. Back it about. Harvester says it's too late in my life to learn how to use Belch. I've gotten this far without it. Well, Belch consumes a berry every time you use it, so it's, you know, it's just kind of annoying to have to like reload a berry into your Pokemon every time. Or that, or you have to have had used a berry, which makes it even more rare. Damage over time, huh? 2 can play at that game. Whoa. Harvester says, yeah, the novelty is interesting for design, but in practice they're pretty nothing. Yeah. Well, I think now is the time to swap out for Rude. Or Ribitina. Let's go with Rude. Because Rude also won't take damage from the Sandstorm. Oh, his Duraludon is what he's gonna Dynamax. That makes sense. Love that throw animation. Skapoosh. I'm a building. I used to not like Duraludon, but I've really come around. I actually like him a lot now. This music is very Soccer Stadium. Yeah, it's really good. Get out. Explosion. Is Explosion just a bigger version of Self-Destruct? Like causing a tremendous explosion, there's a fans upon using this move. Yeah. Yeah. This is just a strictly better version of Self-Destruct. Running Klepto says that's actually intimidating. Lightning says, now I'm feeling the British. Yeah. Harvester says, dragons are forces of nature incarnate. Duraludon represents the raw power of infrastructure. Yep. Uh, yeah, let me Max Quake this Duraludon. Hopefully, Rude will be able to take another hit. This might have been a bad idea. I don't think he has very much as far as hit points left. So if Duraludon outspeeds him, which I'm pretty sure he does, yep, we might just... This might have been a terrible move on my part. Ooh, okay. He didn't aim it at Rude. Yum, 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 yum. There we go. This might... Nope, it's not going to one-shot him. That's okay. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Alright. We get like one turn without sandstorms. Can I do a Max Quake here and then heal him? Yeah, I think that'll work. Rawr, give me my sand back. Little Veggies always gets knocked out, and I feel bad. That's why he's kind of lagging behind a little bit on XP. I should go back and look like which Pokemon's gotten like the final blow on each gym challenge. I feel like Rude's gotten a couple. Yeah. I might have lost, but I still look good. Maybe I should snap a quick selfie. Harvester says, I have to say, I really love the transition in the gym leader track when they're about to bring out their Dynamax signature Pokemon, where it ramps up with the drum taps and the full chanting and whistling refrain. Yeah, no, it's really good. You got $7,000 for winning. 7,000 Pokebucks. In the aftermath of the furious battle, I feel as pure and refreshed as when the sky clears after a storm. Yeah, so like we won this challenge because we already knew that Rayhan has like this weird strategy, right? It's like, but the first time around, just showing up and being like, hey, here's a freaking sand team. This battle is tough. If you are going in blind, even if you're an experienced Pokemon player, like you don't know what to expect, right? So it's good. What can I possibly say? Calling myself Leon's rival seems I'd grown quite conceited for someone who can't even claim the title of champion. Overconfident in both myself and my team. I'll give you what you want then. The proof of your victory, the Dragon Badge. Bam! You can now catch Pokemon of any level. You've collected all of the gym badges from the Galar region. Now win your way to the semifinals and finals for your chance to challenge Leon. You must! You owe us that much at least for beating us in battle here today. Dragon Times. You've collected all the gym badges. At last it's time for the Champion Cup. I look forward to seeing how you all do in battle. Hey, Petunia. Sorry to hold you up, but there was something I forgot. First off, as a sign of my respect, here, TM99 contains the move Breaking Swipe. Nice. The user, blah, 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 blah. That's a dragon type attack, right? And secondly, here's the dragon type gym uniform, the mark of true strength. Number 6 Challenger Petunia. You've completed the gym challenge. Good on you, kid. Now prove your strength to the whole region at the Champion Cup. Rayhan, I'm here to see just how good you are. There you are, Leon's little brother. Don't worry, I'll give you a battle that'll make you want to quit the gym challenge altogether. Hop says, I've tried out lots of different strategies and I've made up my mind about how I want to battle. I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna beat you and Petunia and even Lee. Rayhan says, I'll be seeing you, Petunia. Let's have another epic battle someday. If you're feeling up to it, you might want to train hard in the wild area. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Oh, I totally ignored the ball guy the first time around. Oh, a level ball. A Pokeball that makes it easier to catch Pokemon that are at a lower level than your own Pokemon. The higher your Pokemon's level is compared to the opposing wild Pokemon, the easier it'll be to catch it. Pokeballs are just full of surprises, don't you think? Go Rude, gotta love me some Nidoking. Yeah, it's good times. Lagnus says, you get paid in Pokebucks? Is that like Corpo script? I mean, yeah, kind of. Again, we're kind of working on this weird theory, right? That like the Pokemon world is actually like just like a communist like utopia. Like nobody actually spends any money, but specifically there's money for the gym challenge. That's why when you go to Pokemon centers, all you can buy is Pokemon stuff. You can't buy stuff for yourself or anything like that. Although I guess that doesn't really make much sense with the boutiques, so maybe that's a crack in the idea. Harvestry says, I'll give you what you want. Take my dragon badge and $70. Just please, my hoodie is very important to me. It's core to my branding. Yep, absolutely. Lesser known Pokemon Corpo Rat. Yep, that would be a good one. I mean, somebody else has to learn Payday, right? It can't just be Meowth. By the way, the fact that that money only applies to the Pokemon challenge, to like the League challenge, also explains how Pokemon that know Payday don't wreck the economy of the regions they live in. You gave Rayhan a good thrashing, and that means you've completed the gym challenge. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart. I really wish we could go celebrate, but I think there's some things we should talk over. The light that covered Hammerlock, it was just like the darkest day, where it said that giant Pokemon went on a rampage and almost destroyed the entire Galar region. It certainly seems to be that way, my dear. As you know, we Dynamax our Pokemon today using the energy from Wishing Stars that have fallen to us, but we still don't know how to fully control the energy behind Dynamaxing, or how the two heroes managed to do so. In fact, we're not even really sure who or what the two heroes actually are, or were. The legendary Sword and Shield. Sonia, my dearest, my lab code is yours now. Are you sure, Gran? I still haven't finished the work you've assigned me. Think of this as something to help you finish that work. Smart girls. Professor Sonia. The two heroes that protected the Galar region from the darkest day, and the legend of the sword and shield you just mentioned. It's up to you to figure out the truth behind it all. I know, Gran. I'll do what I can. You or Hop could be the one to take down Leon, and I don't want to miss that. Not to worry, you can count on me to take care of everything. You just focus on getting to Winden. Go on, head to the station or you'll miss your train. Oh, I guess I'll save. I'm guessing all my Pokemon are back to full health. Mm-hmm. All right. Women in STEM. Woo! Let's see. If there was one thing in the next Pokemon game you would want in it, what would it be? That's a very broad question. I guess the thing that I think is most realistic and would like the most is for them to give me at least one kaiju looking final evolution of the starters. Right? It's like I assume that little cat is going to turn into like a lady with like a dress. But at least like maybe Fuecoco will look like a T-Rex at the end. That would be cool. So that's what I would want. Horsepoint Man says Corporate Rat has an ability that takes a portion of the money generated by any Pokemon using Payday. Wow, truly heinous. Definitely a dark type. Zemsy says Return of Mega Evolutions. Yeah, sure. We do have a mob boss, Alolan Raticate. Oh, really? That's cool. Intruder Team, you redeemed story about Kansas. Let's see. Let me think of a story about Kansas. Or, yeah. How I told you guys about when I went to a bison farm. Okay, so let me. Are the captions working? Okay, good. Later, Lagnus. Okay, so what is a bison? What is a North American bison? So a North American bison is a ruminant, an ungulate, and basically it looks kind of like a bull, except its head is enormous and its horns appear to be tiny, but they're actually just kind of tiny compared to its head. So let me see if I can find a good image. Let's open that in a new tab. Okay. Let's see. So that's a North American bison. That's fine. So North American bison are really hardcore animals. They are extremely strong, extremely tough, and extremely fast and agile. And so what I'm leading to here is the time that I went to a bison farm. So I go to the bison farm, and they show me how they harvest, basically, the bison. So in the United States, at least, most of the time when they... Oh, I guess, content warning. I'm going to talk about animals being killed for food. So if you don't want to hear about that, I mean, I'm not going to go into like gross detail, but I am going to talk about it. So you might want to come back later or watch the VOD later and skip this part. So in the United States, when cows are killed, they're usually stunned, which means there's like a little gun that shoots out this little tab that doesn't fly off. It stays attached to the gun, but it comes out fast like a bullet. They put that on the cow's head, pull the trigger, and it kills the cow immediately, right? Um, if you've watched No Country for Old Men, that's what they do there. That's how they kill. That's how the like main bad guy kills people. Um, he stuns them. He basically hits them with that thing, um, a cow stunner or whatever it's called. You can't do that with bison. Bison's heads are extremely strong. They're just like solid, like bone that's like several inches thick. You can't do that. If you hold that up against the bison and you hit it, you're just gonna make it mad. Um, so to kill and harvest the bison, what they do is they put them in this trap to immobilize. They basically herd one of them into this thing to immobilize it, and it's this big metal contraption. And then they like shoot it in the head with a double-barreled shotgun with slugs. Like that is like the basic amount of power that you need to kill a bison, right? Um, so they took us. We rode around, and we saw the herd, and the herd just moves around wherever it wants. And they have fences, and we're talking about them, and I was like, "Wow, those fences must be really sturdy." And they're like, "They are, but they can't stop them. Like they don't make fences. Like there are no fences that can prevent a bison from crashing through. Zero bison. Like no fences are built that can do that, right? Um, you could build walls maybe, but then you can't have like then they would be in a room, right? They wouldn't be out in a pasture. So um, he's like, yeah, they can crash through anything, and also they can jump over that fence, right? It's like the fence has to be very tall because these guys can like jump like 6 feet in the air from like a standing position, right? So again, think about this thing, which is like it's probably like 6 feet at the hump, maybe taller, just like crouching down for a second, then jumping like 6 feet in the air, right? Its own height. Um, Harvester says, I know we're having a serious/genuine story time, and all I can think of is bye, son, jokes. Oh, yeah, sure. Bisons are nature's bulldozers. Yeah, very much. Bison are the largest herbivore in. No. I think moose are actually technically larger, but bison, like basically bison and moose share this thing where like moose are a lot taller, but bison are like heavier. So they're kind of, I think by most rubrics, the moose is the largest American land creature, I think, period. Obviously, unless you count like trees and stuff, but land animal. But the bison is its own thing in its own category. Basically, yeah, a bison is a tank. So we're like, okay. So the guy's like, okay, well, let me take you in to see the herd. So they take us in, and I'm sitting in the back of a pickup truck because I'm shooting this. This is also, by the way, where I learned to sit in the back of a pickup truck. Like the guy that I was in, who was like an actual straight up cowboy, he's like, oh, you don't. Is like, okay, when you sit in the back of a pickup truck, lean forward. Don't ever lean back because you'll just like fall backwards, and then you'll fall on top of a bison, and they'll trample you and kill you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Um, so we get there, and basically while I'm shooting, I'm talking to the guy. The bison come up to the truck because this guy feeds them. and they know there's food there. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, "Oh, so like, is this like how safe is this? Basically, what we're doing?" And he's like, "Well, it's safe because I can tell that the bison are not agitated, right? It's like it's not safe because it wouldn't even take the biggest male to churn over this truck, right? Any adult in this herd can just flip a truck over if they want, right? And that's the guy was saying is like the only reason why the bison stay here is because we feed them and because we take care of them. It's like if they wanted, they could leave, and we literally couldn't stop them. The fences couldn't stop them. We could like drive after them with like tranquilizer darts and knock a bunch out, but like you couldn't stop this herd from going somewhere else. They just stay because life is good here. And it's like kind of amazing. It's like you just keep this animal around, to for food and to buy and to um, they make stuff out of the pelts. Like I almost bought this like really really nice like bison like basically quilt. I mean, it wasn't an actual quilt; it was like a pelt. But it was huge and it was extremely warm and comfortable. And bison fur is really soft. And I ended up not buying it because it was very expensive, and I was at the beginning of my career and didn't have a lot of money. Although I guess I'm later into my career now and I don't have a lot of money now, so you know, it didn't matter. But eventually, I would meet my wife and marry her, and she is, I think, like we think, allergic to hoofed animals, basically. Horses, cows, and almost certainly bison give her an allergic reaction. So I would have probably have bought that and then would have had to get rid of that pelt. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't buy it. For a long time, I kicked myself for not having bought it. But then I was happy afterwards because it just turned out that I ended up with someone who would have probably been very allergic to that, and I would have had to like give it away or whatever, which I guess would have been okay too. Um, let's see. Ronan Klepto says, "Well, I never used to find bison terrifying." Yeah, if you don't live in an area where bison live, you probably don't think about them too much. Um, let's see. That's a powerful beast. Yep. I think the moose is one of the closest living links to prehistoric mammals, along with the sloth. Oh, that's cool. Um, Intruder Timmy says, "Yep, they are good at killing people horribly." Yeah, bison are very strong. I'm sure you've seen stuff online of people like getting close to bison to take a picture of them, and then most of the stuff I've seen, like the person gets away after the bison gets upset and basically goes into like a threatening position or just like chases them rather than charging them, right? The bison will just start moving forward with its head down, and that means get out of here, right? You just get out of here. I'm gonna destroy your whole world. Um, but yeah, bison are extremely powerful, and people don't get it. And they look at them and they seem calm and stuff, and they are pretty calm because most things can't hurt them, right? It's like bison seem calm because they're not worried about you. You can't do anything to a bison. That is, of course, not true. You can kill a bison. The way that what I described earlier, the way that bison were killed, that's to eat, right? That's so that they can take the meat and the meat is unharmed, and the pelt is largely unharmed, so they can use the pelt. But in fact, if you shoot a bison in its vitals, it can die. It can probably take a lot more shots than other animals because it's incredibly tough. But as we know, the bison were nearly driven to extinction. And again, just to get back into it, when you think about um, the colonial ramifications of things, bison were driven to extinction on purpose by the United States government and its agents and people that they paid to because they were a primary food supply for several Native American nations and tribes. And so by depleting the bison population, they depleted the food of those tribes and then were able to take over their lands that much more easily. The bison has made a comeback because of independent ranchers and stuff um, getting a hold of bison, which were previously relegated to zoos and specific breeding programs, buying them, raising them, and selling their meat. So because of the meat market, is that's the reason why bison have made a comeback. But of course, I would venture to say that only a tiny, tiny fraction of those bison, if any, actually belong to a Native American breeder, or maybe belong to a tribe, or something like that, right? Very, very few of the bison that now exist that have made a big comeback because of their meat and pelts, and that they're like basically a luxury item. Very few of those bison belong to the people that originally depended on the bison and that were whose lives were basically taken away along with the lives of so many bison, right? Which were largely wasted and even unharvested. So that's my little story about how I went in to a whole herd, like I drove through a whole herd of bison and knew that at any moment any of them could decide that they didn't want to play and flip over the truck I was in and kill me. But also a little PSA about colonialism and how we need to do better, I guess. So yeah, that's my story about bison in Kansas. Let's see what people have to say. Um, and the fate showed you favor, says Harvestry. Better to have your loving partner than a warm and cozy blanket. That's true. And you can get a cozy blanket that doesn't make your partner burst into hives. Horsepawn Mine says, when I lived in Oklahoma, there was a herd of bison living in the middle of town in a little park. They got out one year and people had to chase them all over town to herd them back. Yeah, those would be tough. Harvester says, they look chill because they're cool kids on the schoolyard. Yeah, they're not worried. Again, because these bison, also these specific bison, weren't hunted, right? It's like they might be descended from bison that weren't hunted, but that racial memory is gone, so they're not worried. There are no predators that can really stand up to a bison except a herd of wolves. Like a whole herd of wolves can take down one bison, right? So that's what they're actually kind of worried about. And the males aren't worried about their lives; they're worried about their cows and their calves, right? Um, Harvester says, sure hate that. Brutal colonialism nearly wiping out a species just to overpower the native peoples already living there. Yeah, absolutely. Intruder Timmy says, amazing story. Well, I'm glad you liked it, since you cashed in your points to hear it. So yeah, let's see where we're at on Pokemans. Bison are cool. Okay. What time is it? Almost 4. So probably should wrap it up here, or start wrapping it up here. Let me see if for once I can actually find somebody to raid. And also let's see if I can raid someone successfully. Not really. As always, the people that I mostly watch are not on when I'm streaming. So, yeah. So let's start wrapping it up there. I'm back in the swing of things. So I'm recording Critical Hit tonight. New Critical Hit episodes come out this week, or episode comes out this week. I am not in this week's major spoilers. Not well. I mean, technically, I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I am not in that one because it was my wife's birthday yesterday. So I gave Steve an advance warning, um, and yeah, they knew that I was going to be out. So I will probably be on the next one. I am going to be in this episode of Critical Hit. I haven't missed any of those. In fact, we might be getting close, if not right up to an episode that I recorded while I had COVID. So if you listen to that one back to back with like a previous episode or the next episode, maybe not the next episode because I think we recorded 2 when I had it. you will hear my voice like drop significantly. Like I'll be like blah 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 on the first one, and the next one I'm like. So that's a fun Easter egg for you when you hear Rodrigo's voice drop while playing Nexo. It's because it's because Rodrigo had COVID. Good times, good times. Let's see. Harvester says, "I'm glad you're on the mend, Rodrigo. I hope you continue to recover." Yeah, I'm pretty much out of it. Aside from like you probably hear my voice crack a little bit every once in a while. Um, but yeah, I mean I haven't had any actual symptoms in quite a while. My boss cleared me to go back to work, so as much as I was like, but he's like, no, it's been long enough, and I'm like, okay, fine. CDC guidelines, what do they know? Um, but yeah, so um, I actually, now that I've complained about having to go back to work, I actually might have a couple days off this week. So I might um, I might actually do another stream maybe tomorrow. What day's tomorrow? Thursday? Yeah, I might do another one tomorrow. I might do another one on Friday. They might be at the same time, but they might not be. It just depends on what I have time for. So just keep an eye on Twitter. That's the easiest time. Or if you're already on Twitch, most of the day, like some people are, which is fine. You might see me pop up and do a surprise stream. Don't know what game I would play, don't know what I do, but I'll figure something. Yeah, it's nice to have some time off. I already had time off because I was sick, but time off when you're sick doesn't really count. It's not relaxing. You spend all of your energy just to get back to like a basic level, and I mean, I definitely don't feel rested after that time. So, but yeah, let's wrap it up here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for playing. Thank you for cashing in your points. Thanks for listening to my stories about Kansas. Um, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for those of you that have subscribed or those of you that have bought subscriptions for other people. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Every time I get to $100, Twitch gives me a check, so that's nice to get. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and we will catch you soon.